We are now months into the COVID-19 pandemic, and over the course of these past months, police in Alberta have noticed a disturbing trend, an uptick in the number of domestic violence calls. Because of restrictions and lockdowns, experts say women's shelters have largely been quiet about that, but José Saint-Ange is in Edmonton looking into the issue for us today.
Those who work with domestic violence survivors say it's been too quiet, that more violence is being experienced at home, but victims aren't reaching out for help. Women's shelters in Alberta experienced a big decrease in calls during the spring and summer. Experts say the pandemic is a perfect storm, trapping victims at home with their abuser and limiting opportunities to escape. Fear of catching COVID-19 is another factor.
There's an overarching message that's out there: stay safe, stay home, and that plays into the dynamics of power and control that you see in an abusive relationship. It makes people scared to go out and seek help, scared for their children and what they may be exposed to.
In Alberta, RCMP reported a 12% increase in domestic violence calls between March and September compared to the same period last year. It was no surprise to police the pandemic brought with it a jump in domestic violence calls. They've noted similar increases during other prolonged periods of stress, like during economic downturns or in the fallout of major disasters.
When people are stuck at home without their supports in place and they have increased stressors on them, it's like when you apply pressure to a rock and the fissures start to form, that you would see increased violence and likely more severe violence as well.
Shelter operators say the women who did seek help experienced more severe violence than usual. As the pandemic continues to play out, experts say friends and family members need to play a bigger role by checking in on their loved ones, even intervening if they suspect domestic violence. Women's shelters are just seeing an uptick in calls for help. That increase is expected to continue for months, even years. José Saint-Ange, CBC News, Edmonton.